a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order. It's Christian Coffins.
DarkDox, digest. DarkDox, digest. DarkDox, digest. DarkDox, digest.
Welcome to April 7th, 2025, Monday edition of the DarkDox Digest with your host, Christian Coffins.
DarkDox, digest. DarkDox,
digest.
Happy Monday, everyone. I am returning to you once more on this Monday, April 7th of the 2025s. I'm your host, Christian Coffins, and the left just does not know how to take the L. Oh, the worst sore losers that I have ever seen, I gotta tell you. But I see there's some of you in the chat. Go ahead and post some stuff in there. Take a moment and share the link and create a post. You can click share and then create a post and just be like, we're live right now, come into the chat. Rah! And yeah, then it'll go on your timeline on Facebook, on YouTube. And we'll get some more people. And the more people in the party, the more fun it is. Bring the trolls. Do you hate somebody? Bring them in here because I want to talk to them. All right, let's turn on the display capture. Today's episode is called Unhinged. Unhinged is highly disturbed, unstable, distraught. So let's see what we're about to get into here. If you guys saw over the weekend, I went to the HANDSOFF 2025 protest in Orlando, Florida. And I got sexually assaulted by this gremlin right here. So if you can identify this woman in Orlando, Florida, she inappropriately touched me and multiple times. And I told her to stop. It's all on camera. And that's her saying, oh, I have a small penis. Like, that's supposed to, like, hurt my feelings, or, like, you're gross, lady. You're gross. You got nothing. You're a loser. You're gross. And, yeah, I mean, she was saying hateful things against homosexuals, calling me a homosexual, then accusing me of being a homophobe. She was kind of all over the place. She admitted to being vaccinated, so maybe that's some of her dementia from all of that or whatever. But if you can identify this woman, let me know, because I would like to press charges. If you're on X, we are Sacred Owls Unite. If you are on Facebook, I am Christian X Coffins. If you're on Rumble, we're DarkDox. If you're on BitChute, we're DarkDox. And so, you can watch the whole video. I got it on my spy glasses and on my phone. It's like over 2 hours long from the whole ordeal. And some amusing, moments in there. Give it up for Data Battle Z, of course, for doing our intro to every show. And he did some fantastic shorts. I already posted 2 of them on X and YouTube shorts. So go ahead and check those out after the episode. Give them a like. Give them a share and all of that. And definitely check out Data Battles Z. Sometimes it's Data Battle Z. Sometimes it's Data Battles Z, I guess, depending on what account he is on. Because like all of us InfoWarriors, he gets banned and silenced everywhere. But I wanted to touch on this moment in the hands-off video from Saturday. At 46 minutes and 5 seconds, where I interview this dude. It's hard to hear, so I'm going to be pausing and kind of letting you know what's going on.
How you doing, man? Who are you guys here with?
Huh?
Who are you here with?
We're with all family. With
okay.
My Orlando community.
Awesome.
Against the white supremacists. And we're against the white supremacists.
And where are you from?
Huh?
So he says he's with his family, but he's wearing a shirt that says American Coalition, and he says he's against fascists.
Where are you
I'm
from?
from Portugal.
Oh, okay.
From Portugal, I am Brazilian and Venezuela too.
Nice to
I got
meet
a
you.
triple support. And I against in the United States.
Uh-huh.
I am no American citizen. I am against Donald J. Trump and all these policies.
So he says that he's not an American citizen, and he's from all these other countries. Our First Amendment only protects our free speech here in the U.S. Just saying. Like, it doesn't protect foreign nationals coming over here and spreading disinformation, which he was very nice, to be fair. I don't think he was aware of, like, my politics, or he probably would have been a little bit more mad if he understood, you know, I was wearing InfoWars stuff. And again, I have nothing against this individual individually, but what he's saying is, like, completely wrong and the problem, and that's why I'm focusing on it here.
This ridiculous politics.
Okay, you don't like Donald Trump.
Huh?
You don't like Donald
No,
Trump.
I don't like his politics because
Okay.
I don't care about Donald Trump.
Okay.
I don't sleep with Donald Trump.
What
I got
policies
against
do you
his
not like?
Politics. He said, yes, I don't see it's smart. You fighting with with Canada, with Mexico, with the.
So he doesn't think it's smart to fight with Canada and Mexico when they have been taking advantage of us and flooding our borders, mostly in Mexico. And of course, it's not Mexico, it's from all of these other countries that he mentioned he's from. So, I mean, this guy, like, is supporting the problem.
European Union is not smart. Destroy the economy.
Yeah.
I don't think.
He's not destroying the economy. The price of eggs has gone down. The price of gas is going down. Yeah, the stock market is in crisis, and it's not. Stock markets were never really a good investment in the first place, and it's only temporary, guys. So you can calm down. I'm actually keeping track of it. I bought $5 in Doge during the dip, and I'm positive 12 cents. So I don't know what your problem is. The economy is going to be doing great once we bring industry back, and we already are. We're bringing chip manufacturers back in. There's going to be automotive, that we're going to bring back Detroit. We're going to bring back the Dust Belt. We're going to knock the dust off the Dust Belt.
Because it's smart.
What it seems like he's trying to do, he's been talking about it since the 80s, is reciprocal tariffs, because we've been taken advantage of as the United States for a long time by these other countries.
That is the.
Yeah, so if you didn't catch that, I was saying he's been talking about it since the 80s. You can look it up. For the past 20, 30 years, he's been talking very publicly about how the tariffs on the United States are outrageous. And we just get fucked in the ass all the time and don't stand up for ourselves because we've been run by globalists that want the U.S. to crash so that way they can consolidate into a new world order. But now we have someone who is not a globalist and he's trying to improve our economy. So there's going to be growing pains. We're going to have to, he's calling it take our medicine. But then once they come to the table because of these trade deals, you have to be tough in order to have leverage in these kinds of things. It's all part of the art of the deal. If you haven't read his book, I wasn't a believer either. I don't agree with Trump on every single thing, but when it comes to the economy, he's crushing it. And you got to do your research.
Narrative, but the reality, the real reality is we are bigger because we are the big consume products on the planet, and all the planet is working for us, making products that we buy. So
you see, he's a globalist. He wants to continue, things coming in from China and coming in from all of the. That's Jojo Siwa. Yeah, so he wants to continue just like cheap Chinese goods and Temu and just destroying, not having anything nationally. He doesn't care about the U.S. because he's not a citizen. He cares about all these other interests above America. Well, I'm America first.
the idea, the simple idea.
And it has nothing to do with race. Before you even, it's racist. You're a white male. I'm half Hispanic, all right? I have family from Venezuela, from Bogota, Colombia, from Spain. It's not about that at all. It's about being an American and standing up for America. You can be an Indian American, a Black American, you can be any kind of American and be America first.
We believe it. We believe it. The idea. We believe it. Somebody got advantage about us.
Yeah.
I don't know how can be possible because you see, if we are the more powerful country in the planet and we now switch, we don't make no more industry. Here we just make a service like bank service, and we still consume and we still control the whole planet. What is this idea? Somebody got a benefits about us and screw us. That is the most ridiculous point. Everybody can make it because we still be powerful.
So his accent's very thick. I didn't even catch that part, like, to be honest. Like, I caught a couple words, but...
You understand what he's saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And I could see how you could see it that way. I mean, it's totally rational. But I think the idea is to be tough on them at first and be like, hey, we're not fucking around anymore. We've been getting screwed over for so long. And then try to get them to bring more manufacturing back. Bring back Detroit.
Yeah,
bring back, the Rust Belt.
This picture,
Yeah.
black and white, when you see the American daddy because he working in the factory, is not coming never more. Because
So he said this picture of Americans working on factories is going to happen never more. Very poetic, but it's like the broken English, I get it. So he's just straight up saying like, yeah, that's not going to happen. We're going to keep all of the manufacturing overseas and there's nothing you can do about it. And he's talking to a citizen of the United States, and he's not even a citizen from here, but yet he's enjoying the freedoms that our forefathers fought and died for in wars against the redcoats, against against the Nazis, and then they're going to call me a Nazi. Okay.
Because the Republican Party was who created the globalization, and now
They
for
used
some
to,
reason,
yeah.
for some
So he said that the Republicans created the globalization. I could see that narrative. I would have agreed with them before Trump, because, before Obama, it was Obama Democrat and then Trump Republican, but he wasn't even a Republican. He just knew that he had to be part of the two-party system. But he's talking about like the
Bushes and stuff.
Conservatives, the Bohemian Grove, like, yeah, those Republicans, but like he's not aware that like this is a very different party now. Like we've taken over the Republican Party was dead, it was dying. MAGA just like said, yeah, this is our party now, and we are the populists. I mean, just look at the numbers in the last election, like.
Absolutely.
Now he wants to turn it around.
But Trump is an anti-globalist.
That is impossible.
He went to the UN and said he's an anti-globalist.
Yes, but that just doesn't work no more. You know why? Because if you put the technology to where we're working here and we make another people doing, it's benefit the whole planet. If you believe in the idea, we're becoming the best country in the planet because you screw everybody else around, it doesn't work.
So something about like technology and it's not going to work to bring it back over here. He has no idea what he's talking about.
Afterwards.
Osceola?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Afterwards.
So that is not a good idea. When you believe it, you screw up all the planet because you want to benefit only the United States. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope it all works out. We're on different sides of this, but that's okay. My big goal here is just to make sure that the domestic terrorism stops.
Yeah, but this is
This
narrative.
is bad.
Yes, this is narrative.
They're burning like Tesla dealerships.
The Mexican coming for the border to make it terrorists here.
No, it's
a crazy
domestic.
idea.
It's the liberals here in the U.S. They're mostly white
And
kids.
it's the Republicans
Really?
go to the Congress
Yeah.
and destroy the whole Congress because he believe it. That is the terrorists and the Donald Trump release.
But what about like the burning Teslas and all that's going on here?
Bueno, that is the vandalism.
So what about the burning Teslas? Oh, bueno, that's the vandalists. Like, That's very telling to me, and that this is like the main thing that I wanted to focus on from like this whole ordeal. There was other interesting tidbits, but in the mentality of this person who's not a citizen of the United States, you're gonna tell me that burning a vehicle is just vandalism and not domestic terrorism. He's gonna double down here. Listen.
This is not called terrorism.
No, burning an electric car is not vandalism. Come on.
When somebody make a vandalism, it's against the law. You take it and put in jail. You don't create the narrative because 16 cars for Dallas be born. Now we got a terrorist attack. It doesn't work that way. You can create a narrative with the Fox News, Newsmax, and you believe it. Oh, we are narrative because 16 cars for Dallas be born. Go ahead, good luck for that. But the reality is that is not terrorist.
But then the same people call the people on January 6th terrorists when no one got killed.
So yeah, he's saying that I'm trying to create a narrative, for Fox News or something. It's like, it's just word salad. I mean, no, like let's look up, I'm done with this guy. Let's look at the definition. This is FBI.gov, link in description. Domestic terrorism. So, like his little like narrative, his charming, like, oh no, bueno, like, it sounds like non-threatening. Here's the definition of domestic terrorism from the FBI. Domestic terrorism for the FBI's purposes is referenced in U.S. Code 18-2331-5 and is defined as activities that involve acts dangerous to human life. I would say burning a Tesla with a lithium-ion battery that fire departments don't even know how to put out. So they just let it burn. So yeah. An act involving a danger that's dangerous to human life, that are a violation of the criminal laws of the United States. Yes, it's illegal to burn someone else's car. Yes, appearing to be intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population. I would say that this is political, absolutely. It is intended to intimidate or coerce Republicans that support Donald Trump or Elon Musk, or not even. They're doing it to fellow leftists that, they have, they might be Democrats, they might be apolitical, whatever, but like they just have that brand of car. Tesla, all the Democrats and the liberals, they used to get Teslas because we're trying to save the environment. You and your gas guzzler, you Republicans. It's like, wow. Influence the policy of government by intimidating or coercion. Yes, same. They're trying to intimidate Musk into not working with Donald Trump, not running Doge. Affect the conduct of a government by mass destruction, assassinations, or kidnapping, and occurring primarily within the territorial jurisdiction of the United States. So it checks all the boxes. Burning a Tesla is domestic terrorism. They need to be called domestic terrorists. It's the Democratic Party. And look at who's behind. Here's the partners of this hands-off movement, who's very handsy, and they just love, touching my genitals. Again, if you find this woman, I want to press charges. Let me know her name. Hands Off 2025 brought to you by 350, 198 Methods, 5051, 5051 Pennsylvania, 5 calls. A Philip, I can't even read that one, it's so small. A Philip Randolph Institute. Accountable.us, the ACLU, Activate America. Yeah, ACLU, you guys have come a long way. So law-abiding, you should sue yourselves. AFL-CIO, America's Unions, AFS CME $32.99. Education, healthcare, public service, AFT, AFGE, AFR, Americans for Financial Reform, Americans for Tax Fairness, Arab American Institute. What's this one? Autistic Self-Advocacy Network. So they just brought everyone out here. Bay Area Coalition California. Don't California or Florida. Get the fuck out of here. Bend the Arc Jewish Action. Burke's Climate Action. You're going to notice that there's not going to be any Christians. Don't Frack Your Mother. Better Path Coalition. Blue Anchor. Bulletproof Pride. Care in Action. Carolina for All. Catholics Vote Common Good. Center for Biological Diversity. They're turning the freaking frogs gay, so, you know, check yourself. Center for Common Grounds. Clear. Who's Clear? And notice how there's no links. It's just the logos. Center for LGBTQ. You forgot the IAPPK Plus. Economic Advancement and Research. Center for Science in the Public Interest. Central Valley Movement Building Organization Institute. CFBP Union, CHN Action, Christopher Street Project, Climate Action, a project of North Carolina, LCV, Climate Hawks. I can go on and on, like the whole show. I mean, look at this. I'm still scrolling. Like, seriously. I tried to, how many of these are funded by USAID? It's a conflict of interest, guys. You're scum. You hire criminals. And we're exposing you, so suck it. Cervical cancer, nearly 100% preventable with regular screenings, but media pushes vaccines. Fewer women are getting routine screenings for cervical cancer, according to recent studies. Some researchers and media outlets suggest vaccination is the best way to prevent cervical cancer. But experts like Dr. Sin Hag Lee, a pathologist and expert in molecular diagnostics, told The Defender that while infection with certain strains of HPV is one of the strongest known risk factors for cervical cancer, the most important risk factor for developing cervical cancer, at least from the point of view of what we can do about it now, is the failure to receive regular screenings with a pap smear. I've heard bad things about those too, but I don't have a vagina, so I don't have an opinion, right? Breaking: federal appeals court denies Trump administration effort to stop judge's order to return MS-13 gang members, blast DOJ's lawlessness. If you're not familiar, last week, a federal appeals court on Monday denied the Trump administration request to stop judge's order to return alleged MS-13 gang member Kilmar Abrego to the United States. The Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals also blasted the DOJ for suspending the DOJ's immigration lawyer, who repeatedly apologized to the judge last week during a hearing. Let's watch. Oh, it's one of these. Link in the description. By the way, at 9:10, we just got a report from our buddy Tina Simmerly. I always want to call her Summerly. Simmer down now. Where are we? DarkDox Network. Dun, da, da, da. I'm going to put the link in the description now. Confrontation Station from Holistic Empire. I'm going to plug this show while you guys wait, because why not, right? Live now, then we all come back. You know, see, because we're a family here, and we promote each other, and that's how we roll. So I'm going to copy this link, and then we do it live, baby. I'm going to put it right underneath my first line. So that's live at 9:10 p.m. So yeah, click on that when this show is over. I'm going to end right at like 9:08. And actually, I want to keep that up there. Thank you. Foreign suspect shot by police after 4 children hacked with meat cleaver in New York City. Lin Cheng Chin, suspected of brutally attacking family members under the age of 16 at Brooklyn residence, authority says. Sheesh.
911 for an assault in progress. The 11-year-old caller stated that she and her siblings had been stabbed by her uncle. She did not know her address. Quick-thinking police communications technicians at the 911 call center used the technology at their disposal to get an address from the location of the phone that the child was using. Based on that information, officers responded to 1671 84th Street in the confines of the 6-2 precinct. When officers and EMS arrived, they were led into the first floor by an uninjured child and led into a small vestibule facing 2 more doors. At that point, they heard screams coming from behind the door to their left and immediately began forcing their way into the apartment, kicking down the door. Once they entered, they encountered a man standing near the entrance holding a large meat cleaver covered in blood, and they could see blood on the floor and the walls of the home. The officers ordered the man to drop the weapon several times. He refused and advanced towards them. 2 officers discharged their firearms, firing 7 total rounds between them and striking the subject, ending the threat. This encounter is captured on body-worn camera video. Inside the apartment, officers found 4 female victims aged 16, 13, 11, and 8. All had serious slash and stab wounds, and responding officers and EMS provided emergency medical care on scene before the victims were removed to Maimonides Hospital. At this time, all 4 children, thank God, are expected to survive, but this could have ended very differently. Officers and EMS arrived at the door within minutes of receiving the 911 call. Their fast, decisive action pinpointing the location.
So I'm really glad to hear that the victims are going to make it, but you better believe that this fucked up their life. I mean, if we don't get a death penalty for this fucking piece of shit, then we failed as a society. We need to be... They're not going to stop until you put the fear in them. Jeez. So I thought they caught the guy. I think that they didn't even catch him. Islamists found guilty of hate crime and bomb scare plot targeting Christian churches across the U.S. Death penalty. A federal jury has found 45-year-old Zimnenko Salah of Phoenix, Arizona, guilty on multiple counts after he targeted Christian churches across 3 states with a hoax bomb threat motivated purely by anti-Christian hatred. Yeah, your Muhammad's a pedophile faggot. Share that with all your fucking friends. A federal jury has found 45 guilty on that. Following an 11-day trial, the jury returned its verdict Thursday, concluding Salah planted the backpack at a Christian church in Roseville, California, in an attempt to simulate a bomb threat. I got no love for any of these people. I mean, seriously, like, you good Muslims need to do something to, right the ship, because it's not looking good for all of you. Trans cult passes law in Colorado to steal children from parents who protest their plans of sterilization and mutilation, which are all performed by the hands of this depraved transhumanist cartel.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1312. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. No. The ayes have it. House Bill 1312 has passed.
The magnitude of the open evil, but it's so evil, people just have trouble even processing it. Colorado is going to take children. When you find out they've secretly been brainwashing your 5, 6, 7-year-old, literally that young or younger, it says it in the bill, and then you go, bitch, you don't even know they passed this law, and they remove your child. Colorado House, see the full report and longer videos of it at Infowars.com, approves bill that can allow state to seize children from parents if they misgender. Go read the bill, says it right here. The bill is linked in the article on Infowars.com. This is their goal. This is where they're going. This is what they want. Destruction of parental rights, take your children. And they already passed laws in Oregon, and the worst is Washington State, where it says that they take your child from school and don't even tell you they took your child. They kidnap them. You don't even know the state got them, and they put them in a home to empower them. Imagine the homes run with a bunch of kids that think they're another sex. Who do you think runs those? I think you can probably put 2 and 2 together, can't you? Here's a clip from them passing the law. I guess they have to have the governor sign it now.
House Bill 1312 has passed.
I've been brainwashed red because I have to. The court says, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a 5-minute clip. Link in description. FBI issues urgent warning to parents about satanic pedophile predators. Researcher BX reveals on how she broke the case.
All right, welcome back.
This is from the American Journal this morning.
I'm your host, Harrison Smith. Joining me in studio is BX. BX is an independent investigator, streamer, and artist. Her investigations focus on exposing satanic pedophile networks, psyops, and, of course, underreported events. The best way to keep up with her investigations is by following her on Substack at bxwrites.substack.com, where she posts exclusive, in-depth research. That, again, is bxwrites.substack.com. You can follow her on X at bx_on_X. And, of course, she streams on Rumble, BX on Rumble. BX, thank you so much for joining us once again.
Yes, thank you, Harrison. Thanks for having me back.
Well, it's my pleasure, and love having you here because you are clearly ahead of the curve on this whole satanic pedophile thing. We've talked about it for a long time. You've come on this show and talked about it. Finally, it seems people are recognizing this. We have some articles from Wired. The FBI has made some statements. I want to play one of those in just a second. But what do you think is happening? Why do you think now 764 and COM and these satanic networks are finally being talked about and exposed?
I think it has to do with the fact that, probably so the FBI has known about these networks since, I think, mid-2023, possibly even earlier. There'd been some really early arrests. But I think at that point, they're just trying to figure out, is this like just a fringe group of people, or is this something more serious and more prolific? And I think that over time, it's become more and more apparent that this isn't just a couple of pedophiles messing with kids online, that what this is it's an attack on our youth as a form of terrorism. And so when you're reading these indictments that are coming out now, as opposed to the ones that came out 2 years ago or so, you're seeing them emphasize that this is a form of terrorism, that their goal is to corrupt and traumatize and exploit our youth in order to create trauma that they can destroy our kids. And that's part of their larger agenda to accelerate societal collapse. So these are what we call accelerationists. They want to accelerate the downfall of modern civilization. And that includes the United States government.
Yeah, and as you pointed out on our show before, they don't necessarily have an ideological drive one way or the other. They're sort of messing with everybody, which makes it that much more difficult.
Yeah, that chick Amanda Belcher from last weekend's protest, definitely check out the Tesla takedown video that we posted last week. But the organizer, Amanda Belcher, she had those same kinds of sigils and stuff on her pants. Are these Tesla takedown peoples part of the satanic accelerationists?
Difficult to deal with because, we're dealing with all this swatting stuff going on with, people at InfoWars and our families, or, just right-wingers overall being swatted. And it's like, okay, you could, there's multiple layers of deception where it's like, okay, they might be disguising themselves as Ukrainians, but they don't actually care about the Ukraine war, but now they have us blaming these people. So it's all just about creating chaos and confusion and violence and chaos, just madness and chaos.
And they're very good at doing that.
They are.
So that's another aspect of this that I think hasn't really caught the same amount of attention as the child exploitation component, but the part where now we have, what was it, like probably 6 months ago that I came in here the first time? Mm-hmm. And even then, when I was talking about this was still something relatively unknown. But then in December and then again in January, we had 2 school shootings that were conclusively linked to these groups. And so what we've been trying to tell people from the get-go was like, not only are they sexually abusing kids, but they're trying to encourage and provoke and groom kids to go commit school shootings and other acts of terrorism. And so now we're seeing that start to come to fruition. And I think that that's lighting a fire under law enforcement to say, hey, this is more than just a couple of pedophiles online. This is a wide spread international group of terrorists.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're seeing a trend here. Domestic terrorism, Satanism.
And you're seeing the indictments. They're starting.
All on the left. On the right wing, as of late, now that MAGA has taken over, you don't see that we have those problems. Of course, the Grove is still neoconservative. They have nothing to do with us, and we've always been protesting them. But definitely follow BX on X is BX_on_X. Eliminate the pedo army. John Bound reports.
The scumbags that prey on America's children are multiplying. They are so brazen that they hunt them on social media.
Danny, got you. Can you come and get me, Danny? On the video chat. Help me, Danny. Danny, will you come help him?
Sometimes they are even the developers of those platforms.
So when he told you he was 13, what was you thinking?
I didn't know exactly. I thought maybe it was someone in trouble, if they were reaching out, someone thought they knew me.
Okay, because you not once in this whole conversation he expressed that he was in any kind of trouble. So he never told you that he was in any kind of trouble. So he said, better watch my language with you. And he said, why? Because you're a youngin', you said.
A Vancouver teacher has been implicated in a child pornography ring. Police in Australia have announced the arrest of 11 people. 2 are Canadians. As Teresa Lalonde reports, the ring allegedly operated through Facebook.
If we can stop it at that initial point, then we can lessen the impact on the child and hopefully, lessen the distribution of their images and videos of them being tortured.
Facebook would deactivate the suspect's site but not contact police. The suspects would simply set up a new account in a different name.
They are their teachers. They are in top positions in law enforcement.
These 2 individuals, a deputy in Livingston Parish and his teacher wife, who was a middle school teacher, got caught by Adobe. They were photoshopping things. Adobe turned them into authorities in Louisiana, which launched an investigation. Authorities with the Attorney General's office showed up at the couple's house. They found this safe full of hard drives, computers, thumb drives, things like that. And all of it was encrypted with a software called Keep My Data Safe. And so essentially they had to come in and decode everything. And when they decoded everything, they were alarmed at what they saw. They saw child porn, they saw child rape. They also saw what appeared to be this deputy who was ejaculating on sweets that were then being served to his wife's class.
They are in the tax-fueled bureaucracy that runs our lives.
The Defense Department releasing brand new details into an investigation involving child pornography and dozens of its workers and contractors, some with top-level security clearance. Not only are these very serious accusations, but investigators say some of the people involved were handling the nation's most sensitive secrets.
Take a look at this, for instance, the National Security Agency, the National Reconnaissance Office, and the very secretive Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. Others also worked on actual military installations, including Edwards Air Force Base in California and also the California-based Naval Air Warfare Center. So they had access to military secrets in some cases and military hardware.
Department of Defense computers are being misused to share, to spread, to access child pornography. The Department of Defense does not have an adequate way of responding to this, of tracking down and investigating who as an individual is misusing these computers, who is sharing these pornographic images of children, who is sending them to whom.
Parents are knowingly selling videos and photos of their children to predators. That's exactly what is happening on these platforms that are allowing adults to subscribe to exclusive content of minors. This is a 13, maybe 14-year-old girl behind me who has a variety of tiers to see photos and videos. And I just want to be clear that these parents know it is not other teenage girls who are buying these photo packages. And everyone who is selling exclusive content of their children online to strangers should be investigated.
We're back covering the shocking allegations against Lawrence Ray, a 60-year-old dad accused of starting a sex cult with his daughter's college classmates after getting out of prison.
And to give you an idea, Doc, of the, the spectrum of people that he was around, he called me up from an airplane one time, and he said, pick me up at JFK. I'm coming into JFK. I've got some friends. And as he got off the plane and he was walking toward my car, I'm looking out the window, and I said, wow, I said, this guy that he's walking with, he really looks like President Mikhail Gorbachev of the Soviet Union.
Gosh.
And he puts Mikhail Gorbachev in the backseat of my car.
This is the hill to die on. The charade has gone on long enough. They can't have our children. John Bound reporting.
So, of course, I mean, if you've been following me forever, we've been talking about this. This is the cornerstone of Sacred Owls of DarkDox, to take down the global pedophile network. That's been our goal since the very beginning. I wrote the song Pedophile Hunter Rock and Roll. Go look it up. And that's my job in this world. That's what I'm here for. How USAID and NED funded the bloody Biden color revolution in Bangladesh with $1.73 billion of our taxpayer dollars. Ever since the elected Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, was overthrown on the 5th of August in 2024, radical Muslims close to Clinton-related interim dictator Mohammed Yunus have been conducting violent pogroms against Hindus, Sikhs, and Christians. As the Gateway Pundit reported, a new report details how the violent overthrow of the democratically elected government was funded by USAID and National Endowment for Democracy. It's an international criminal terrorist organization. It needs to be treated as such. And we need our money back, and we need to see heads roll, frankly, legally, lawfully. Due process.
Foundation for Freedom Online, Mike Benz. Mike, thank you for joining me this evening. Brother, we're hearing some pretty disturbing accusations about some of where our tax dollars have gone via USAID. Give us the facts.
Well, that's because USAID is one of the most disturbing organizations in the entire federal government. It may rank number one, in fact. USAID is under the cloak of being a humanitarian aid organization designed to advance U.S. foreign policy, is assigned the dirtiest tasks that the State Department can't get caught doing, and that used to be done directly by the CIA but USAID is able to act as essentially a covert operations division in the way that the CIA used to, except it's not even bound by the requirement of a presidential finding to authorize a covert operation that the CIA does, which is why what you've seen for the past 2 decades is that most of the international scandals involving spycraft have had to deal with USAID rather than CIA. And if you understand the CIA's history with money laundering, you'll begin to get a glimpse at the size of the problem with USAID and why they won't let either congressional oversight or DOJ see their books.
So have they literally have struck gold of the gold of corruption, the massive bank vault that holds all the dirty details and secrets of the left and of the machine, maybe left and right, anybody complicit in basically selling out the American citizen and their tax dollars for nefarious actions, and it sounds like including the CIA. What is the CIA implicated in more details in what they've done?
Yeah, so they've showed with the USAID findings that the waste, fraud, and abuse was about 80% Democrat, but there were 20% Republican rhinos that were also cashing in on all of this. No MAGA money, of course.
Oh, well, I mean, just to your point first about the Democrat-Republican side, it's both. While the USAID employees contribute 97% to Democrats, the more pernicious concern, so far as I'm concerned, is actually the blob Republicans, the internationalist Republicans who profit off of exploiting the American empire for their own private gain. For example, Bill Kristol, the famous never-Trumper who likens MAGA people to terrorists.
More about Bill Kristol. Look up Project for a New American Century, Rebuilding America's Defenses. Yeah, this is a good copy, 90 pages. I'm going to put the link into the description. PNAC, as we used to call it as shorthand. So, Project for a New American Century, Rebuilding America's Defenses was from September 2000, where they said, when I said they, it's Bill Kristol, and then he had co-signers including Dick Cheney, Condoleezza Rice, Donald Rumsfeld, saying we needed a catalyst like a new Pearl Harbor in order to gather public support to go to war with Iraq, Afghanistan. Pearl, only mentioned once. It's on page 51. Further, the process of transformation, even if it brings revolutionary change, keep in mind this is September 2000. A year before 9/11/2001. It is likely to be a long one, absent some catastrophic and catalyzing event like a new Pearl Harbor. Domestic politics and industrial policy will shape the pace and content of transformation as much as the requirements of current missions. A decision to suspend or terminate aircraft carrier production as recommended by this report and as justified by the clear direction of military technology will cause great upheaval. Likewise, systems entering production today, the F-22 fighter, for example, will be in service inventories for decades to come. So they were like, we need to keep making money from all of these weapons and bombs and airplanes and stuff. So like we need a new Pearl Harbor, bro. And it was most of the Bush administration in that chat. So yeah, good interview. 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Link in description. Toxic threads, allegations that federal law pushes infertility chemicals into children's pajamas. When you buy pajamas for your children, you're probably not thinking about federal regulations or hormone disrupting chemicals. But thanks to little known fire safety law, millions of American kids are sleeping in potentially toxic fabrics every night, and parents have no idea. The Consumer Product Safety Commission requires under 16 CFR Part 1615 and 1616 that children's sleepwear either be made of fire retardant chemicals or be snug fitting to reduce the risk of catching fire. On the surface, that may sound reasonable as a safety precaution, but mounting evidence shows that these fabrics and chemicals may pose serious health and fertility risks. Cotton only, people. I sleep naked. Exclusive founding WPATH academic defended NAMBLA, that's the National Association for Man-Boy Love, leader child porn, and worked with pro-pedophile academic journal. Look at this piece of shit. Looks like a diaper sniffer. Redux can reveal that a founding member of the organization known as the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, or WPATH, was in correspondence with and defended a leader figure behind the notorious pro-pedophile lobby group NAMBLA. American sexologist Vern L. Bullsberg was a pioneer academic involved in the U.S.-based Harry Benjamin Institute Gender Dysphoria Education, later named WPATH. Gross. And criminal. Let's throw them all in the wood chipper and dance around like wild engines. NYU divides by race, calls on white students to use white privilege to protect others. Don't care enough to elaborate. I just don't care. I care about you. I care about your freedoms and your children and your family and your biology. So if you like what we do, you should definitely go to thealexjonesstore.com/darkdox. And if you use that URL, I get 10% of the profit from your purchase, and it greatly helps me continue to do this. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They just released the Ultimate Burn. Boost energy and focus. Ultra high quality standard. Supports metabolic health. Thermogenic supports. And boost energy and focus. I have my Ultra Methylene Blue on the way. They got silver coins with Alex's face on it. I'm on the Sheila G complex right now. You think I'm full of crap? You think I'm just talking, out of class? Here's my bathroom. Sheila G, Atomic Defense, Brain Force from InfoWarsStore.com. I don't even get paid by them, and I still use it. Also, the X2 nascent iodine. You got to get the Sambucus. That's elderberry gummies. The probiotic ultimate gut cleanse. Sea moss with bladderwrack roots, bladderwrack and burdock root. They got all kinds. If the $100 silver coins above your pay grade, I understand. For $17.79 on sale, they have the Tip of the Spear InfoWars Veteran Limited Edition Challenge coin. It's not silver, but it's a nice coin. And if you're a VIP member, you can see it's only $14.38. So I'll get I'll get $1.40 off of that. Please. We could really use your help. And right now, this is really exciting. The current giveaway, right now, they're giving away 2 vehicles. That's right, 2 vehicles. So every dollar you spend is 10x entries into... here it is. I'm going to pause it. They're giving away this Jeep Rubicon. It's a 2024 Jeep Rubicon 390. And that's right. I'm going to turn myself off real quick here so you can see they're giving away a 2024 Alex Jones edition wrapped, you can see, with the 1776 and the American flag. Cybertruck. Now, I know I talk shit about the Cybertruck, you know, because, like, I have a Dodge Ram 3500 extended cab 2001 with a 5.9 liter engine, and I can haul a fucking space shuttle with my van. You can't do that with the Cybertruck, but it's a very nice vehicle. And if you're going to get it for free plus $20,000 in cash, guys, look at the specs on this 2024 392 4x4 plus $10,000 cash. Total $108,000 giveaway. It has the 6.4 liter V8 SRT Hemi, 8-speed automatic, 8 horsepower, 75 transmission. I mean, you got the Tesla 2024 Foundation Edition Cybertruck plus $10,000 cash. Total giveaway value is actually surprisingly less than the Jeep Rubicon. Look at that. It's $99,129. But still, I mean, for free? Shit. So definitely support Alex Jones. They got some new cool stickers. I really like this one. They got all kinds of great stuff at thealexjonesstore.com/darkdox. And also, don't forget, you can give us money directly. Of course, at cash.app/darkdox. But also, if you go to darkdox.me/shop, or just go to darkdox.me or .com and click on the shop button, we got projectors, we got MP4 players, we got thumb drives that are over 1 terabyte with over 100 documentaries, podcasts, audiobooks, declassified federal documents. We got the Epstein files. We got everything. The archive is growing all the time, you know, because we're pretty confident they're going to take away the internet if the Democrats ever get back into power. So you need to have these files if there's no internet. And with the projector, you know, you can run it off of a solar panel out in the woods, out in the desert, and project this on the mountaintops. We got t-shirts, we got DVDs, we got comic books that I designed and made the music for personally with a bunch of other amazing artists. Check out our film, Sacred Owls. They are here to save the world. We went to the Bohemian Grove. We went to the Georgia Guidestones before they got demolished. We went to the Boys Town where the Franklin Scandal and Conspiracy of Silence was filmed. We went to the Denver airport. Check it out. Exclusive details. Female disc golfer protests trans-identified male competitor by refusing to compete. So this is a trend that's going on, and I'm here for it. Professional disc golfer athlete Abigail Wilson walked off the tee in protest over inclusion of trans-identified male in the women's competition this week. Good for you, girl. Klaus Schwab is now out of the World Economic Forum. Now it's trying to fucking strike. John Bound report. Mountain Violet. What's up, Mendo Brendo?
What we are very proud of now, the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets.
Klaus Schwab is the head of the World Economic Forum, and he bragged how his subversive WEF, World Economic Forum, has, quoted, infiltrated governments around the world. He said that his organization had penetrated more than half of Canada's cabinet. And I was wondering, in the interest of transparency, could the member please name which cabinet ministers are on board with the WEF's agenda?
The member was in a really good question there, but the audio is really bad.
Not only the $58 million discovered a month ago by Doge being given by USAID through a circuitous route to the World Economic Forum, but over $200 million given by the U.S. to the UN, given to them last year alone, and they're finding more and more and more and more and more.
We have continuous partnerships with many governments around the world.
More USAID. I want my money back!
We have trade unions. We have all those different parts.
Media, of course.
Media, of course.
People always say, where were you? And
that's right.
You and I were having breakfast in New York on September 11th.
So,
look at that little
the 50
turtle.
plus million in U.S. aid funds, the WEF, were canceled, and Klaus Schwab formally steps down as per Reuters. The whole world saw your communist scams. The fourth industrial revolution, elites must aggressively drive their agenda home. Well, the revolution you thought you'd have is against you. Klaus Schwab, the founder of the WEF, steps down as World Economic Forum chair.
So I just wanted to express my appreciation and my pride, if I may say so, for what has been achieved. But I think the obstacles, or not the challenges, are coming now. And Peter, I wish that you are very successful in preparing the next phase of the Global Fund. So again, thank you.
I can tell you, it's not Ursula von der Leyen. She is not making any decisions. It's not Bill Gates. It's not even Klaus Schwab, right? They're not the ones calling the shots, because they're the idiots that hang their face in the camera and advocate for all of this nonsense and you know, this totalitarian crap. So it's not them. But who it is, I really don't know. I have no idea. And I usually refer to them, for the lack of a better word, as the globalitarian misanthropists, right? So there is a group of people, I have no idea who they are, but they are the ones calling the shots. And our elected governments are mere puppets. They are just, you know, pretty much implementing whatever they come up with. To what end and what their goal is, to me, it seems quite obvious. It is to ultimately erect a one world government and to transform our liberal, open, democratic, equal societies consisting of free individuals into some kind of a collectivism where the individual is becoming merely a malleable part that can be shuttled around any which way the globalitarian misanthropists need you to be shoveled around.
We're living through a pandemic that continues to ravage communities in every corner of the globe. Climate change wreaking havoc on our planet, with the most vulnerable suffering most of all. The few weaponizing lies and disinformation at the expense of the many. And from the horrific war in Ukraine to the rolling back of constitutional rights here in the United States, we are witnessing a global assault on democracy and freedom.
World Economic Forum founder Klaus Schwab
This is not a
has informed
democracy.
the board he will be resigning, per Reuters. Another massive blow to globalism, thanks to Donald Trump's, writes Nick Sordor. Schwab has infamously been on the warpath against the United States and conservatism for 5 decades, but his reign is now coming to an end. Good riddance. Now I would add, arresting for crimes against humanity. He's committed plenty of them, cooking up the whole COVID attack with Fauci and the UN and the Rockefeller Foundation. I want to thank.
That's right. Crushing it as usual. Lethal injection, electric chair, or firing squad. An inhumane decision for death row prisoners. South Carolina resumed executions with the firing squad killing of Brad Sigmund last month. Michael Mandy's execution date is days away. Yes. The curtain shrieked as it blah blah blah. So yeah, this is the Intercept's like spin on it. But Idaho government Little statement on death penalty for pedophiles. Boise, Idaho Governor Brad Little issued an explained statement today on his signing of House Bill 380 last week, allowing the death penalty for pedophiles charged with aggravated lewd conduct with children 12 and younger, and strengthen punishment for other convicted pedophiles. Give it up, everybody, for Governor Brad Little. Just like capital murder destroys lives, aggravated sexual abuse of young child devastates victims and families for generations. Amen. I'm proof of it, by the way. It's in my family. One of my sisters, from her father, not my father. We have two separate fathers, same mother. And I wasn't even alive when it happened. And look at me now. I swear to God. Like, this is like her story, listening to it when I was a 9-year-old, is what turned me into the Christian Coffins that you know today. So this is 100% true. The sexual abuse of children is sickening and evil. The perpetrators convicted of these crimes deserve the ultimate punishment. Idaho also just became the only state to make death by firing squad the primary method of execution. I commend my partners in the legislature for strengthening Idaho's already powerful, tough on crime reputation among other states. Hey, Ron DeSantis, you're crushing it. Let's be the second here in Florida. Wood chippers for pedophiles here in Florida. That about does it. 9:05. So at 9:10 in 5 minutes, please go over to Holistic Empire's link right here. If you look at the link in the description, it's the very first link after DarkDox. We're going to be in there because this is about this family that has been torn apart by scumbags and trolls. They have been swatted. They've been slandered. And, we need to stand with our brothers and sisters in the fight. Predator Hunter Nation. This is Tina, who's been on the show several times. Check out those episodes. Tina Simmerly, not Summerly, because you need to simmer down now. So definitely check that out. In 4 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. This is Christian Coffin saying, beware, take care. And if you know this woman, let her know that I'm going to press charges for her touching my junk. Have a nice night.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order. It's Christian Coffin.
DarkDox, digest. DarkDox, digest. DarkDox, digest. DarkDox, digest. If you value this program, donate what you can at cash.app/DarkDox. If you value this program, donate what you can at cash.app/DarkDox. DarkDox, digest. DarkDox, digest.